Hi everyone, welcome back to With the Messenger. My name is Whitney. I know it's been a while since I've done an astrology reading, but this is an important one. We have a new moon in the sign of Capricorn. It's happening on the 30th or 31st, depending on where you are in the world. And this couldn't come at a more perfect time because it definitely helps you to set the intention for a new calendar year, right? The year 2025. So that is a great day to do some vision boards, some manifesting, okay, as to what you want the year 2025 to look like for you. So we're going to talk a little bit about the facts, Sabian symbol, fixed stars, different transits activated, baked into the new moon for that day. And then we're going to go into your individual signs. Timestamps will be listed down below. If you don't know much about astrology, but you want to learn about it, I also have a video in the description box down below on how to cast your natal chart with some tips as well, just like some basic astrology jargon, just so that you could follow along. Okay, all right, so this new moon is happening at a 9 degree. That is a Sagittarius degree, so definitely there's a lot about traveling, import export, publishing and journaling, journalists, right, expose type things, higher education, religion. I think I said traveling. So those definitely could be some themes. If you have any placements between 6 to 12 degrees of Capricorn, you will feel this directly because it will conjunct you, okay? But if you have it of the fixed signs, sorry, not the fixed signs, of the cardinal signs, that's Libra, Cancer, and Aries and Libra, it's going to square you. So that's going to feel like the nature of Mars, like having to make some type of decision, having to face some type of conflict or tension, some type of challenge. Or if it's in the sign of Cancer, then this is happening across from you. So then it's happening to the person across from you, or the person across from you is having some kind of new beginning or initiating some type of new beginning. Okay. Of course, if you have any placements between, again, 6 to 12 degrees of earth signs, so that's Virgo and Taurus, then this energy trines you. So trines are the nature of Jupiter, very beneficial, free flowing type energy. So we're going to get into your individual signs, and you're going to know how it could affect you based on that house, okay? But of course, if it's a specific planet for you instead, let's say you have a Capricorn Venus and this is conjunct your Venus, then this could be a new beginning in finance and money and luxury for you. Or if, say, you have a Capricorn Mercury, this could be where you're signing contracts or you're publishing something. I'll think about all the themes, or new conversations get started. Think about all the themes that Mercury rules, or you could be traveling somewhere, or even getting a new car, okay? Because the Mercury does rule cars as well, the third house, right? Okay, so this new moon will activate the fixed star, and I hope that I say this right. Fasces, Facies, Fasces, faces. Okay, and so activation of the star has to do with, it's not the best. It's a very unfortunate star. It could have to do with like perfectionist tendencies, which we know Capricorns could be sometimes. They're very hard workers, okay, sometimes to their own detriment. It's also about leadership, okay, so this could maybe be where some people will rise to positions of leadership, like Capricorn suns or Aries risings or Capricorn risings. But then this is where the more unfortunate part of it comes in, because it has to do with like coldness, detachment, earthquakes. I did post on my Twitter, countries who have Capricorn or Libra placements may want to look out for earthquakes around and following this new moon. Remember, new moons take 6 months to play out. So those are countries like China. I did see one more country that India, I think I said. Okay, we also have, it has to do with war and violent death. Now we know there's a lot of unfortunate situations that are happening out there in the ME, and my prayers are with everyone who's affected by that situation, as always. So if you follow me on Twitter, you know I'm very vocal about that. I won't bring that to YouTube, okay? Okay, so the Sabian symbol is an albatross feeding from the hand of a sailor. So what this Sabian has to do with, in its positive light, is facing your fear, overcoming your fear, overcoming self-limiting beliefs. Two opposing forces, or even says in the explanation, people like who were enemies at one point, being able to like kind of find a common ground to help each other. So there are specific modalities, specific elements that I believe, like for example the water signs, who I believe they could be mending fences when it comes to relationships with others, okay, like siblings, aunts, uncles, even a lover, an ex-lover, you know, those in situations of co-parenting dynamics, or who shared a business with one another, okay. So it could be, like I said, it could be overcoming fear, superstitious beliefs, self-limiting beliefs, especially, let's say, Libras, you know, that's their fourth house, so it could be superstitions that were ingrained in them, okay. This could also be a time where people decide to let their guard down and be a little bit more gentle. There is this Proverbs 15:1, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir anger. So you might want to meditate on that around the time of this new moon. Empathy and sympathy as well. So maybe it's going to be a time where it's easier for us to put ourselves in other shoes. And it kind of makes sense because we do have on the 29th of, I'm looking at calendar, 29th of December, Chiron turning direct. Okay, Chiron is the wounded healer. If you don't know the story of Chiron, do go ahead and look it up. But basically it's about the centaur that, you know, was able to heal everyone but itself. Okay, but what's the word? The way it plays out in our lives. I'm having a brain fog moment. The way it plays out in our lives is us having the ability to turn inwards and heal in this lifetime, and to heal that wound. It's a part of our purpose to heal that wound, as well as helping others to heal that wound, okay. Yeah, so like I said, with the enemies thing, or even if it's not an enemy, but it's just like maybe somebody who you weren't able to really see eye to eye. This could be a time where you feel like you can deal with them, where you feel like somebody who you had to like keep at bay, like maybe you could help each other, maybe you could somehow see eye to eye. So maybe it could be that coworker, that boss, or that neighbor, okay. And put in worries or fears behind you. I'm thinking about the Fool card in tarot, so that you could fly higher, so that you could take risks, okay. Now the negative side of this is manipulating people and events, dependence, superstitious beliefs to keep one stuck. So it could be, for instance, and this may seem like a weird out example, but in the culture that I grew up in, the Caribbean culture, sometimes it could be true, but sometimes it could be just something that it was programmed in us, where, let's say you're to go to a trip, or you're supposed to go out somewhere, and then your mother or father is gonna come with, they had a dream, you know. So, and it's a superstitious type thing where it's like, okay, if I have this bad dream, then that means that if you go, then something bad is gonna happen to you. So that could be an example of manipulating people and events, right? Fears of snakes, spiders, whatever it is that you fear, it could come to the forefront. You might have to be confronted with it somehow. Putting a wall between you and others. So just as easily as where it could be the positive side, where you take down that wall. Let me let that pass. Where you take down that wall, this may be a case of where the wall, it goes up, right? And then on the day off, we have a very wide sextile to Saturn in Pisces, okay? And we have on that same day Saturn still squaring Jupiter, but you know that square was exact on the 24th, and so that applying square is moving away as Jupiter continues to retrograde back and Saturn continues to move forward. We also have the Pluto Mars oppositions that is getting closer together. I think that's going to go exact around the 3rd to the 6th of January. So that's getting closer, right? That's more applying. And then we have Venus and Uranus that is in a square. So I'm going to talk about how this bakes in for the entire story. But of course, Uranus is in it's interesting because Uranus is in the sign of Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. And Venus is in the sign of Aquarius, which in modern astrology is ruled by Uranus. Okay, so there's a type of reception there between the two. All right, so let's just jump into it. I'm gonna start off with Aries. Okay, Aries, so we're gonna start off with you all. I had to take a little break there. So this new moon is happening in your 10th house, very public house. So it's trying to create a new start for you. It doesn't only have to be in terms of career. It could be in terms of what your status is. Okay, so you know, you do have the South Node that has been going through your 7th house. It's still there when this new moon happens. If you were married and you get divorced, well, that's a change in your status. If you were single and you get married, well, that's a change in your status. Okay, you could become a boss because we do have that fixed star that has to do with leadership that is being activated. So especially if you have any planets in Capricorn around 9 degrees, I would say 8, 9, 10 degrees at max, because with fixed stars it has to be a very tight orb of conjunction. Okay, and on that same day, so definitely I feel like there's this energy there of you stepping up. Now normally I wouldn't say Aries are people who are fearful, but if there is something that you were fearful of in terms of being in the limelight, because you have Chiron that has been transiting the 1st house, Chiron in the sign of Aries, right? Then this is a time where you need to put those self-limited beliefs behind about who you are and your identity and really put yourself out there. If there was anyone as well that perhaps you would go further together than apart, meaning like you could band together, be business partners. Maybe before you used to bump heads around something. This could be a time where you mend fences and it helps you in your career. Okay, because we do have Venus there in your 11th house, so it's kind of sweeten things up when it comes to your long-term goals for your career, your aspirations, and even the wider network that you connect with. Okay, now there is a square between Saturn in your 12th house and Jupiter there in your 3rd house. You might have to revisit a project, and you're revisiting that project again from that space of self-limiting beliefs, your dedication to it, right? Saturn there in your 12th house, but the 12th house has to do with our self-limiting beliefs. It has to do with things that subconsciously keeps us stuck. Okay, so I feel like it's more so for you all a mindset, because the 3rd house also has to do with the way we think. Okay, so Jupiter there in your 3rd house is trying to expand the way you think. It also has to do with community. Venus is there in your 11th house, so the way you work with others is trying to expand, but I feel like it's just your mindset that has to change. Now you do have Uranus there that is squaring your 2nd house. That is squaring Venus from your 2nd house. So Uranus is in your 2nd house is what I'm trying to say, and it's squaring Venus in your 11th house. Something that you value or something that you claimed as my own, there could be some type of shakeup with that, right? That's what Uranus is, that shock factor. Second house is what you have, what you own. So there could be some type of change. I don't know, maybe you might need to share the credit with someone else, you know, or allow their idea to add on to what it is that you have, and that doesn't downplay the value of what it is that you own. I'm sure that this will make sense for someone. Okay, and let's move on. Oh no, let me pull a card for you all. The Five of Cups wanted to show you again about the self-limiting beliefs. For Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. The new moon in Capricorn. What seeds are they planting, please? What seeds are Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising planting? So we have the Hierophant, Taurus energy. So it has a lot to do with what's happening there in your second house, what it is that you have, what it is that you own. What it is that you're investing in, your talent and your skills, and how you connect that to your 10th house. Perhaps bringing it a part of an organization, bring a bit of structure to it with the Hierophant energy as well. Okay, so I feel like it's invested into some type of skill that you have or something that you own, even if it's an idea, a business idea, and bring it a part of a community, because the Hierophant, it has to do with some type of organization. All right, 536 Taurus. This is happening in your 9th house. It is a Dharma house, which is a house that is connected to God, source, higher spirit. And it's happening on the 9th degree. So for some of you all, you could be picking up a new course of study. It could be religious. It doesn't have to be in nature. It could just be whatever type of study that you want to study. This definitely is a time where you could put that in your manifestation board, your vision board for 2025 to say that, you know, this is something that I would like to do. It could be that in the past your self-limiting beliefs made you feel like you cannot go and study this thing, or travel somewhere, live somewhere, maybe even living abroad, possibly. And I feel it's gonna be like more so travel or study though, because it's not 12th house energy, it's 9th house energy. Okay, and be careful of other people around you trying to put fear within your plans. Okay, I feel this is going to be good for you, but just be careful of others trying to put fears in your plans. Someone might want to keep you, I'm getting devil card energy, somebody might want to keep you tethered to them somehow. Okay, all right. And so on the same day, we also have Gemini energy with Jupiter there, that's trying to expand. That means going over old ground though, because Jupiter is retrograde and it's squaring Saturn and Pisces in your 11th house. So you see what I say? It could be someone from your network, your friends, I don't know, even somebody maybe that you work with that is trying to keep you small. And I'm gonna tell you now, don't allow it, because Jupiter is trying to expand you. It may take a bit of, because it's a square though, for those long-term goals to come in and you see the actual fruits of it in the 2nd house. It may mean you having to do a bit more of investing. Okay, we also have Venus in your 10th house. Okay, so if you want to do this through your work with Venus, there is a perfect time to ask. And Venus in your 10th house is square Uranus in your 1st house. So this might be unexpected of you to others. Like, they probably didn't think that you have any type of interest in this. There could be some type of change about you that, I don't know, maybe some of you quit and say, I'm going back to school, or I'm taking less hours, I'm going back to school, or I'm taking some time off to do a sabbatical or something. But there's something about you that's changing. But I feel you're still going to get the support because, hey, it's Venus, right? In your 10th house there. It's just going to be like unexpected, and some people might try to make you uncomfortable about it, but you can do this thing, okay? You just have to, I mean, the 9th house also has to do with our programming, okay? You just have to affirm that you can do this, all right? So let's get a card for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising. And it is a part of your purpose because the 9th house does have to do with our purpose. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, please. New Moon in Capricorn. Two of Pentacles. So you have a choice to make. Yeah, the devil. Someone is trying to keep you tethered, keep you under their control, or just, I don't know, have one up above you here, okay? But go ahead, weigh the pros and cons. You're going to see that short-term sacrifice will give you that long-term gain, okay? All right, let's move on to Geminis. Geminis, this is happening in your 8th house. A new moon in your 8th house. This is money from others, money that you share with others. Traumas. Perhaps a new way of healing traumas, because this new moon does have to do with overcoming our fears and self-limiting beliefs. It does have to do with empathy and sympathy. So maybe you could get that from someone else, okay? No, because the 8th house have to do, like I said, with money that we share with others. This could be your alimony house, your child support house. And from the saving symbol, there's a positive connotation of it that says you feel that you can deal with someone with whom usually you kept your distance, and, you know, finally feeling like you can help each other. So maybe in this regard, you know, you and someone who's been at odds could find some type of middle ground based on some type of resource or responsibility that you share, okay? I also feel here, like I said, because the 8th house has to do with our addictions or our traumas, this could be you overcoming, you rising above, and you facing these things, all right? On the same day, we do have Saturn in your 10th house that is squaring Jupiter in your 1st house. So there is something that is changing about you. Jupiter is retrograde right now in your 1st house, and it's saying, okay, Gemini, I want to expand you, but these are things about yourself that you're going to have to change. And with Saturn there in your 10th house, it's saying, okay, you're going to have to walk the talk, okay? I'm going to put the test there. I'm going to give you the additional responsibilities. I am going to put the karmic lessons or the karmic test in front of you, and that may very well having to be show how much you've done the shadow work in real time. All right, we also have Venus in your 9th house of courts, legalities, even mentors and gurus, travel, higher education, and that's squaring Uranus in your 12th house. Another house about self-limiting beliefs, what it is that you believe, and even traveling, okay? So maybe some of you want to travel, or maybe for some of you all an opportunity to travel comes up with that 12th house and that 9th house square that is happening there. Maybe the problem is you have a fear of heights, because this new moon that is happening in your 8th house, it does have to do with banishing worries so that one can fly higher. So for some of you, this could be literally in the next 6 months, you traveling, you planning some trip abroad and overcoming some type of fear that you have when it comes to traveling, okay? Because the 9th house have to do with our moral grounds as well. The 12th house does also have to do with karmic tests. 9th house is good karma, and because Venus is transiting there, perhaps for some of you all, you're able to maybe come to an even ground with someone else, and this is where you may perhaps have to take the moral higher ground in a situation, okay? Or where someone decides, okay, I'm gonna take the high road in the situation, and then there goes Uranus in your 12th house. How will you act? Because this is going to probably come from completely left field. It was unexpected by you. maybe some type of secrets or something that is hidden gets exposed, or a hidden enemy gets exposed. They come, they admit something to you. How are you going to deal with this? And remember, Saturn is there in your 10th house, saying we're all looking at you, Geminis, to see how you will react. So let's get your card for the new moon in Capricorn for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay, this dropped out, so I'm going to take it. 6 of Cups. So this is definitely something from your past. But if you can see there's a devil and there's an angel, and they're putting on a little bit of a puppet show. So I do feel that the 6 of Cups does represent our past. It represents memories. It represents nostalgia. It represents people from the past, things from the past. So I do feel like those things are coming back to you to be tested. Let me just get one more on that, please. Yeah, and the 2 of Swords. So the past is coming back around to test you, okay? This 2 of Swords is that internal battle within yourself. How are you going to deal with this situation? Because there's a part of you that's want to go all not so love and light on this situation, okay? So you're going to have to choose which part of you is going to answer the call, basically. All right. Cancer, this is happening in your 7th house. A new cycle in partnerships on a whole begins for you all, okay? Now this is good. This is the first new moon in so many years where you don't have Pluto present there, so that heaviness moves away from your one-to-one partnerships, okay? This could be where you overcome fears and self-limiting beliefs when it comes to being a part of a partnership, whether that be a business partnership or that be a romantic partnership, okay? This could also be because the 7th houses are open enemies, where you might experience some type of sympathy or empathy towards someone who may have some type of new developments in your 7th house, or you, okay? Because 7th house does more so have to do with the other person. So this could be where the other person, maybe someone you're romantically involved with, or someone that you wanted to start some type of business partnership with, where things are changing for them. They're dropping their self-limiting beliefs, or the way in which an open enemy felt like there had to be distance between the 2 of you, or they could not deal with you. That is changing, okay? Of course, be careful of people who try to manipulate you, because there is the shadow side of this aspect as well. On the same day, we have Saturn in your 9th house that is squaring Gemini in your 12th house. If you have Gemini placements, this might resonate also what I said with Gemini. There could be something about traveling or overcoming your fear to travel, okay? But it's not limited to that. The square between those 2 houses for you all, because it's Jupiter and Saturn, I feel the way that you've been programmed is changing. Like what you believe that you could have and cannot have, what you believe you could do and you cannot do. I believe that is changing. And there's gonna come something that tests to see if you're able to do what it is that your mind has been always telling you that you cannot do, okay? You also have Venus in the 8th house that is opposing Pluto. Sorry, what am I saying? I didn't talk about the Pluto Mars for no other sign. I want to talk about Venus and Uranus. Venus in your 8th house that is squaring Uranus in your 11th house, okay? So again, 8th house could have to do with our subconscious thoughts or addictions, or resources, and your 11th house has to do with what it is that you're trying to achieve long term. Okay, the 11th house does also have to do with the way we connect to people on a wider network, the humanitarianism within us, that charitable part of us, social media as well. I'm gonna be honest, I think this is a good time for you all to take a social media detox and more so pour into yourself with Venus there in your 8th house. I mean, you even have Saturn and Jupiter squared in the 9th and the 12th house there. You gotta be mindful of what you're taking in from others at this time, what you're ingesting. Because we have Uranus in 11th house there. People could be behaving erratic. People represented by the 11th house. So I feel like it's a time where you're supposed to be more focused on your more closer knit relationships rather than the wider ones. We do have Leo, Mars in your 2nd house opposing Pluto in your 9th house. Okay, so it could kind of affect your money. Sorry, opposing Pluto in your 8th house. So it could kind of like, you need to just be focused on those things. Pluto in the 8th, Mars in the 2nd. Those have to do with your money. Oh, you know, some of you are going through some type of divorce with that new moon there, because new moon could be a new start when it comes to partnerships, and partnerships could be, well, you end one thing to start another. Then there could be some power struggles that maybe was initiated with that Pluto Mars opposition, but now with this new moon, like there's this opportunity for things to be negotiated in where okay, how could we help each other to end this properly? Okay, sorry about that, Cancer. It's all over the place there. All right, card for Cancer, please, for the new moon in Capricorn. 8th house energy. Aquarius energy is where things are highlighted for you right now. You have Venus there, you have Pluto there. And this just makes me think of the 8th house, right? It also makes me think of the 12th house too. So that Gemini energy. So you might be in your head a lot. And this card does represent that. Be in your head. So you might be in your head when it comes to other people. Maybe the people represented by your 7th house, they have new things starting in their life, and you're kind of wondering where you fall along in, you know, that new story for them. You might be second guessing yourself too when it comes to these partnerships, wondering if you measure up. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. We have Leo. This is happening in your 6th house of work. So some of you could be looking for jobs within the next 2 weeks to 6 months. This could be a good time where you could find it. Make sure, of course, you put out your applications. On the day of this new moon, you might want to do some vision boards, some manifesting, burn a bay leaf, script, journal. Sorry. The 6th house does also have to do with like our debts, DEBT, what we owe others. It has to do with rental situations. It also has to do with like our bad karma or people who, I'm just gonna say, like, they could be an enemy, a source of an enemy too, right? So this could be where you bridge the divide between you and those people, or you receive some type of help with maybe like a debt. Somebody maybe feels some type of sympathy towards you. Or this could be where maybe you always had a fear about doing something and you said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to take this next step, and then that helps you in somehow to overcome either a karmic debt or like a literal actual financial debt. Okay, now on the same day we have Mars in your first house opposing Pluto in your seventh house. Venus is also there in your seventh house, so Venus is kind of sweetening things a little bit, trying to help Pluto to create some kind of major transformation. And I would say really use this energy of Venus still there in your seventh house, because next year you won't have Venus in your seventh house until 2026. Okay, so use Venus while it's there to try to sweeten relationships, try to get good contracts. Okay, while Venus is opposing Mars in your first house, which means you need to temper yourself. Mars is in your first house, which means right now you have the Martian sword. You could be a little bit impulsive, you could be a little bit rash and abrasive. But while Venus is there by the people in your seventh house, being more generous, wanting to help you, it is making a square to Uranus in your 10th house. Okay, so this could have to do with your public standing, leadership, your relationship to those in authority. I'm not saying to go and grovel and to beg, but you might want to be more hospitable to people in places of authority right now, because they could shock you, right? And the shock doesn't have to be bad. They could shock you in what it is that they have to offer to you. You also have Jupiter there in your 11th house of partnerships, not partnerships, of your wider network and community. Okay, but that is squaring Saturn in your 8th house. 8th house could have to do with what we share with other people, whether it's resources, responsibilities, finances, but it also could have to do with our traumas and our addictions. And believe you me, being addicted to power and control, you all Leos after all, right? In the tarot, you all represent the ego, the self, the sun, right? So I would just say, just temper that. This is not me being biased in any way. This is just me saying you could get help from someone here. Someone could try to bridge the divide here with you all and put you in good standing, and it might shock you. But just allow yourself to be open to it, okay? Because some of you right now, I don't know, I feel like with that new moon happening in your 6th house and Uranus there in your 10th house, just Uranus, it's in the 10th house, it's like whatever is unexpected, it happens publicly. Okay, so you have to make sure that your behavior response, it's not too damaging. Okay, let's see what your card is, Leo. And Cap. Gemini's got this, so if you have Gemini placements, you might want to look at that. Okay, don't throw away something, because I see the 4 of Cups to the bottom here. Don't throw away something at the first sign of it not immediately being what you want. Some of you may need to repay some kind of debt first before you could just go and throw things away. Okay, whether that be, like I said, a physical debt or a karmic debt. I want to get one more. This could be something from your past comes back around, like maybe a past job, or a job from someone from from your past, maybe someone that you couldn't stand, an enemy. And they're trying to bridge the divide and help you out somewhere here. Yeah, someone's trying to give you something here. Okay, definitely. Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Someone's trying to give you something here. Even if it's relationship wise, because we do have Venus and Pluto there in your 7th house. All right, so even maybe if even it's an ex, okay, give it some real thought before you just toss it to the side. We're gonna move on to Virgos. Virgo, this energy trines you. It's happening in your 5th house. The 5th house is the house of the good karma. It is a dharmic house, okay? So this could be where you get some good karma, or your children get some good karma. You could conceive following the 6 months of this new moon in the sign of Capricorn. Surely can. You could start a business. You could have time for a skill, a hobby. Okay, maybe some of you are painters. Let's see. Some of you may have overcome fear when it comes to having children, or overcome some fears from your childhood. Overcome fears maybe when it comes, and this is not me telling you to venture out and just go up and quit your job, but you might overcome fears when it comes to having your own business. Okay, branching out on your own. If there was someone, maybe an ex, that you felt like you couldn't deal with and you had to keep them at arm's length, but though you two had something, like something that still tied you together, or maybe you work together or something, or that maybe you could become cordial after this. Okay, and on the same day we have Mars in your 12th house opposing Pluto in your 6th house. So it could be a power struggle there when it comes to work situations, work dynamics, debt, money that you owe, or karmic debt might feel overwhelming, and it may feel like things like you have to pay attention and put your time, energy, and effort into. That's for sure. There could be things that are changing when it comes to where you rent. That's a possibility, or who you rent to. On the same day, we also have Saturn in your 7th house that is squaring Jupiter in your 10th house. So some of you, your status could be changing. You could be getting married, you could be getting divorced, you could be getting separated, you could be breaking up, it could be public. But whatever it is, because Jupiter is there in your 10th house and it's causing retrograde, it could be some type of decision that you made before you go back on it. It's public. Okay, it's public in nature, but somehow it seems like that is what is necessary for your growth, because this is an angular house, so it has to do with like the direction of your life. On the same day, we have Venus in your 6th house that is squaring Uranus in your 9th house. So again, another Dharma house is activated for you. All your Dharma houses are not activated. So I feel like whatever this new moon energy is for you all, is to put you on the path that you're meant to be. However, since Uranus is there in this 9th house, I don't know. Maybe some of you all decide to move somewhere, or decide you're not going to move somewhere, or decide to study something, or decide you're not going to study it again. You decide to file for something or to retract something, because the 9th house could have to do with filing stuff. Maybe you decide to write a book. How that plays in with the 6th house, you may get support from women through this process, or you may be surprised at the support that you get. Because it's Venus, you know, Venus is beneficial regardless of what is happening. It's beneficial. It just feels like, I feel like the shock factor comes from the Taurus house, and the Aquarius house is supporting it, even though it's uncomfortable. Okay, that's my take on it. Let's get you a card. So, like I told the other sign, like, just be mindful of people putting fear into your plans. Okay, because that's the negative side of the Sabian symbol for this. For Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. New Moon and Cap. The 4 of Cups. So you're dissatisfied with something. Yeah, you're at a crossroads here. You're at a crossroads about something here. You're not happy where you are. And this new moon is happening in your 5th house, which is about that happiness, that childlike wonder, that sense of what makes me feel joy, what makes me want to wake up in the morning. Okay, so you could be making some necessary changes as a result of that. We're gonna move on to Libra. Libra, this is happening in your 4th house, home, property, your private life, the family, your ancestral lineage, the mother, your emotional body. there's a new starts that's happening there for you. I definitely see some of you could be overcoming some superstitious beliefs that were passed down to you, limiting thoughts that were passed down to you, fears, maybe even scarcity mindset that was passed down through your lineage. When it comes to someone in your private life, your home life, or your family, you may be bridging the gap between you and them. Maybe someone that you kept at arm's length, now you could, you know, see if there was some type of dependence that someone in your family line had on you, and they did so by continuously putting fear into you. I feel like this could be a time where you really let that go. Like they were people like an anchor weighing you down, and I'm getting 10 of Wands energy, and you can soar now, right? On the same day, we have Mars in your 11th house that is opposing Pluto in your 5th house. So there can be some power struggles between friends and a romantic lover, or power struggles when it comes to certain ideas that you have, that you want to venture on. The struggle could simply be about deciding, because the 11th house does have to do with our aspirations, and the 5th house could do with like your entrepreneurial business. What's the next path in which you take, okay? And doing what is necessary, even though there may be a bit of discomfort, to get it off the ground, to get it done, moving past those self-limiting beliefs and overcoming those fears. You also have Jupiter in your 9th house, that Dharma house, that house of that purpose, that is squaring Saturn in your 6th house. So this has to do with what you do on a day-to-day basis. Again, like I feel for you all, Libras, you're going to reach a point where it's like, what makes me feel alive? What makes me come alive? What do I want to do in my day-to-day life? You're going to break away from ideas and mindsets that were placed upon you growing up, and you're going to venture out on your own path. You also have Venus in your 5th house that is squaring Uranus in your 8th house. And again, the 8th house does have to do with things like our childhood wounds or traumas or addictions. And the square between the two, I feel like your inner child here with Venus there is allowing you to experience something so sweet and liberating, right? Like it's like a joy with Venus there in your 5th house. This is a joy that's going to just, it's going to shock you how liberating it feels, how you're able to put things behind. Now, on another way this could play out, maybe you receive some type of money from a family member. For some of you all, because the 8th house does have to do inheritance, or you see some type of money from a lover, because it could be a father for some of you all. This fell out. The 5th house could be romantic partners, and the 8th house could be what we get from others, and it could just be shocking, you know. It doesn't have to be bad. So let's see what we have here for Libras for new moon in Capricorn. We have the 2 of Swords. So overcoming that fear, okay? Overcoming that fear that was programmed within you, leaving it behind. Look at the 8 of Cups. No longer settling. Stop settling, okay? This could be fear passed down from your maternal lineage. Moving on to Scorpios. Scorpios, this new moon is happening in your 3rd house. Some of you may decide to drive. Or get a new car, buy a new car, right? The 3rd house does have to do with those things. And new moons is a new beginning. Let's see. Yeah, if you were scared of driving, you know, because this is where you overcome your fears, your self-limiting beliefs. Maybe goes on a trip somewhere, maybe somewhere that growing up you heard was a bad place to go, that it wasn't safe to go, or maybe even moving there, because we do have that Pluto and Venus energy in your 4th house. So maybe that could be moving neighborhoods depending on where your floating IC is, of course. So some of you may be moving somewhere or traveling somewhere, overcoming some type of fear, or even if it's just a trip where, like, let's take for example for me, right? I don't even know what transits were happening back then, but I remember in 2017, I think it was 2017, I took this trip to another district right in my country with some friends, and I went zip lining, and I'm scared of heights. Okay, until I'm scared of heights, I'm scared of heights, but I did it, you know. Would I do it again? I don't know. But it could just be something as simple as that, you know, allowing yourself to soar higher, to try something new. Okay, something new, something nearby. All right. Your relationship with a sibling, cousin, niece, nephew, aunt, uncle, a neighbor, that could be changing. They all represent the third house. And this could be where guards are being let down, people are showing more empathy and sympathy to one another, and people who kept a distance from one another try to help one another. Okay, on the same day, we have Pluto in your 4th house that is opposing Mars in your 10th house. So there's a little bit of tension. Things are at odd with your home life, your private life, and your public life, your career life, what people know about you. Things are changing for you, definitely in your private life, and it could be causing more tension for you publicly, because it may seem like the transformations are so huge with Pluto there in your private life that there are certain things that cannot remain like secret or hidden. Okay, it could be like someone moving out or someone moving in, you know what I mean? So things could just be getting out, and you know, Scorpios being very secretive, wanting to keep things on the wrap, that might just cause major discomfort for you. On the same day, we have Venus there in your 4th house. So this is baking into the story, that is squaring Uranus in your 7th house. So you see where that discomfort is in the private life and how it's playing out publicly. Like I said, 7th house could be a committed partner, an ex-committed partner, or a business partner, and things that are changing under the surface with them or with you and them, and it being really public. So maybe they could be moving away. Maybe they could have a new start that happens in their life somehow, right? Because this would be in derivative astrology, at least this would be the 9th house for them, and that could be travel or a study. Okay, so it just creates a little bit of tension. I mean, Venus is involved. When Venus is involved, it kind of softens the blows a little bit. So whatever it is beneficial, but it's still kind of like shocking. Okay, so it's beneficial to the home life, but still shocking. Okay, or unexpected. It's like an unexpected change in your home life. And then we also have Saturn in your 5th house squaring Jupiter in your 8th house. The 5th house does have to do with our inner child. The 8th house could have to do with inner child healing. And Jupiter is there. I don't know why I'm getting like some form of spiritual justice for you all. Because the 5th house is the house of good karma. So somehow you all getting some type of good karma. No, the 5th house is going to also have to do with our children, right? Not just the inner child. Could do with our children or our romantic life. And with Jupiter going retrograde there in your 8th house, it is either shared responsibilities, shared resources, shared finances, or some type of healing that you do, that you've been disciplined with, that you feel the benefits somehow in the 5th house. You are going to feel the benefits, but you feel the benefits in the 8th house, but you're going to feel the discipline from the 5th house. So maybe discipline in being a good mother, a good father, a good lover, you know, not cheating, not lying, upholding your standards, being committed to some type of dream, some type of goal, some type of shadow work. Okay, so let's see what we have for you all here. I mean, you do have 7th house, 5th house, and 4th house activation, so I won't be surprised if there's like things that's changing in your love life for you all. Scorpios, please. New moon in Capricorn. We have the Four of Pentacles. Wow. And then we have the King of Pentacles. There's something here about money. Or resources, what someone owns. What about it? I need another card. What about this Four of Pentacles? Three of Cups wanted, sorry. Three of Swords wanted to show. This could be where maybe you're getting back money. That spiritual justice that I was talking about. Because the 8th house is money that we share with others. What about this? What about this? Four of Pentacles, please, for Scorpios. Yeah. And it says something is changing in your love life. So there's 2 of Cups here. So some of you could be getting back something from the past or getting back someone from the past. There's skeletal figure in both of this. So this is something that is from the past, and Jupiter is retrograde. So it is something from your past. That justice. That justice. Okay. All right. Maybe someone who made things difficult for you with that 5 of Swords. 444. Sagittarius. You're protected. Your money is protected. This new moon is happening in your 2nd house. There's a new start in what you own, what you do with what you own, how you eat, what you ingest, your skills and talents. Okay. Maybe you had a fear that stopped you from investing money somehow. I feel that's changing. What you do with your money, maybe you had some type of fear there. I feel like that is changing. Maybe you were scared to spend money. On the same day, we have Pluto in your 3rd house that opposes Mars in your 9th house. Okay. What I believe versus what you believe type energy. Or the confidence that one has in their skills. What they've learned so far, right? Because the 3rd house could be like shorter courses of studies versus the 9th house being longer courses of studies. So maybe the deciding factor between the two. All right. On the same day, you also have Venus in your 3rd house, that shorter course of study, that is squaring Uranus in your 6th house. So maybe you decide that you want to change things up a little bit, invest in a shorter term of study. Okay. Or you want to join the local gym. Could be a possibility. The shock factor is in the 6th house, which means there's a change in what you do. Okay, now the 6th house also have to do with our debt. So maybe you decide to go into debt to get something, or you decide to pay off a debt, or you get money to pay off a debt. Okay, or something changes with your job. Maybe you gain some type of certifications that allows you to get some type of raise. Okay. On the same day, we also have Jupiter in your 7th house that is retrograde, and it's squaring Saturn in your 4th house. So there is some form of change that is happening for you in your private life and the people that you share things within your private life. Because the 6th house does have to do with rentals, maybe you will decide to rent out a home, invest in a home and rent out a home. Maybe you all decide to, I don't see any 8th house activation, so I won't say go for a mortgage, though the 6th house does have to do with loans, but 8th house is more so mortgages. So maybe if you have major Scorpio placements, then but there's a square between your 7th house and your 4th house. So whatever is happening, there's a discomfort between you and a partner, a committed partner if you live with them, or a business partner, or contracts that has to do within your home. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, you're a bit worried, the 9 of Swords. New moon in Capricorn, please, for Sagittarius. And you need to overcome that worry. Someone may be manipulating you here, so just be careful there. Trying to keep you to be small. Yeah. Someone is manipulating you, trying to keep you from success with the Chariot here, okay? All right, Capricorns, finally. Capricorn, this is happening in your first house, a new you. One that is overcoming fears and superstitious beliefs and self-limiting thoughts. One that could be, if you choose to lean into it, a bit more empathetic, choosing to show more sympathy to others, changing your mindset and allowing yourself to soar higher, to be more hospitable towards people who normally you just put up a wall with, right? Now on the same day, we have, it's happening in your first house. On the same day, we have Pluto in your second house that is opposing Mars in your 8th house. Struggles around money. Yes, there's a possibility there that this newfound you create some type of opposition with the people that you share things with, or what you value then changes. You know, this newfound you, Pluto is there creating that transformation in how you feel, the things that you have, and of course how you share things with others, or what you share with others will change over there in the 8th house. We also have Venus there in your 2nd house, loving up your money, that will receive a square from Uranus in your 5th house. So that could be a romantic partner, an ex-romantic partner, a child. Okay, so the way that they react to this goodness in your 2nd house could be shocking, whether good or bad. I mean, it is a square, so it could be a bit of tension. Maybe they may require more from you financially, so it's like, as you get this good thing, you have to give it out type energy, right? As you get this money, as you acquire this position, you have to give it out, or at least the decision is there as to whether or not you will give it out, right? And then we have Saturn in your 3rd house that is squaring Jupiter in your 6th house. If your IC is in your 3rd house, this might be you trying to find a place to move, to rent, okay? Commuting might change, or you may be tired of commuting, and that may push your change somehow. Because the 6th house have to do with like what we do on a day-to-day basis, and the 3rd house does have to do with like our means or modes of traveling. Okay, so that might change. The way you do things on a day-to-day basis as well could change, because you're changing your health style. Okay, maybe some of you want to go on a diet, or you have to. Okay, with Jupiter there in your 6th house, you're having to be a bit more health conscious, and you know this is all happening in your 1st house. So hi, it's a new you. All right, for Capricorn, please. New moon in their 1st house. Seeds are being planted. The Magician. Ooh, well, you know, I did say in the beginning, this is a great time to manifest, create your vision board for the year 2025. So you'll have the touch of the alchemy right now. Empress. Ooh. Empress, the 9 of Pentacles, and the Magician. Whatever you want, you can manifest. And for some of you, don't get caught up in gender, but this is just like you literally caring better for your body and for your health, okay? And also being more in a space where you are able to receive, and even being, you know, in that Empress energy, being more nurturing and caring. Aquarius. That should have looked like I'm gonna finish in an hour. All right, Aquarius, so this is happening in your 12th house. Self-limiting beliefs, overcoming fears. Lose to win again from Fantasia. And here I'm hearing that song for sure. You might want to put the ego down. The only reason why I'm saying this is because you do have Pluto in your first house, and then Mars is over there in your 7th house, and there's an opposition that is happening on the same day with this, and it's getting closer and closer, that opposition with Pluto in your first house and Mars in your 7th house. So you against the other person. And then the saving symbol for this new moon in your 12th house is about empathy and sympathy, letting down your guard and being gentle. Feel that you can deal with someone whom you have usually kept your distance from. Okay, so Pluto is there in your first house, and the ego will never die, right? Really die. When I say an ego death, I mean something that had its grips on you, where the ego had its grips on you, where you put a lot of thought and worry into this thing. As if someone sees this, if this gets out, you know, I'm gonna feel so shameful about it. No. That ego, that means that this thing no longer has the control over you. You've put in your control over it. And I feel like Pluto in your first house right now is, for the next 18 years actually, is going to put a lot of that in front of you, where you overcome things that society may have had its grips and its claws on you via your ego about what they think or what they believe. So when it comes to some type of relationship or partnership in your life, this new moon is helping you to reprogram your mind to let go of those limiting beliefs and overcome those fears and tap into that empathy. Okay, on the same day, we have Venus in your first house that is squaring Uranus in your 4th house. So this could be someone you have a family with. This could be your own family. Okay, now let me just say this. This doesn't mean that you have to have someone in your life, like literally be present with them. And you know, if there are people who are actually toxic, actually sometimes overcoming our fears and self-limiting beliefs means that we no longer allow ourselves to be dependent or worry about what other people might say if we choose to move away from toxic family members. Okay, and stand on our own 2 feet. This means taking away the programming that they put in our mind that made us feel like we have to be tolerant of the toxicity. Okay, I'm just saying, Venus is there in your 1st house, so it is giving you a softer touch where people will maybe empathize with you more and have more sympathy towards you and be more understanding towards you. On the same day, we have Saturn in your 2nd house squaring Jupiter in your 5th house. So maybe your children require more money. Maybe you have to spend more money on your children, or maybe there's something that you want to do to have fun, but you're asking yourself, is it worth, you know, the money to spend on it? Squares does present some type of dilemma, some type of question, some type of decision making factor. Okay, let's get you your card, Aquarius. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, New Moon in Capricorn, please. Yeah, definitely have to do with family for you all. Okay, if some of you just had a child, because you know, we have that Jupiter in your 5th house there. Jupiter in the 5th house definitely could bring children. I did conceive when Jupiter transited my 5th house. And so it could just be about doing what is best now that you have a family. Whether that be financially or whether that be how you raise that child. Okay, and putting the ego down where necessary, or protecting yourself and your newfound family where necessary too, right? But it's all a change in the mindset, the 12th house. Pisces, this is happening in your 11th house of friendships. So you could be making new friends. You could be putting down new roots, planting seeds for some type of long-term gain for your career. Because the 11th house also have to do with aspirations. You could be putting something out on social media that you'll see the rewards of it. Okay, it's a good time for you to vision board. On the same day, we have Pluto in your 12th house, opposing Mars in your 6th. Just be mindful of your health. Don't push yourself to burnout. Take care of your body. Remember, with Pluto there in your 12th house, it's trying to get you to learn whatever karmic lessons are possible and transcend those energies. So don't fight it too much. Make the necessary changes in your day-to-day habits and routines over there in the 6th house. Okay, and some of you might maybe come across a formidable hidden enemy. Okay, I didn't say that for Virgos, but they might too. You also have Venus there in your 12th house, and it's squaring Uranus in your 3rd house. So some of you, I wouldn't buy a car right now. Okay, Uranus is there in your 3rd house, and maybe there's some type of or travel by car. If you have some type of long distance trip, don't travel by car for that. I don't know why I'm just hearing that, but don't do that. But it could, you know, some type of long distance trips could come up for you there with Venus in your 12th house. Uranus there in your 3rd house. Maybe just the people around you, they could react unexpectedly, like siblings, cousins, nieces, nephews, aunts. They could react a certain kind of way, like, why you're the one who gets to go, you know what I mean? Something like that. And then we have Saturn in your 1st house, squaring Jupiter in your 4th house. So you're maturing. I feel like you also will be getting opportunities to demonstrate your maturity. And things are changing in your home life for you, that's for sure. With Jupiter there, there's an expansion that is trying to happen, but with this expansion, because it's Jupiter right now, is retrograde, kind of going back over certain things as it relates to your home life and your family, and perhaps how you fit into it. That's all I was saying. Like, maybe there could be some jealousy there with Uranus in your 3rd house, or I don't know, maybe you find out about siblings that you didn't know existed. Okay, could be the shock factor, or the unexpected part of it. All right, for Pisces, please. Because I mean, even the 11th house, 3rd house and 11th house, both of those are siblings houses. 11th house being the elder sibling, and the 3rd house more than likely being the younger siblings. 4th house having to do with your home. All right. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. New Moon in Capricorn. 4 of Pentacles. I forgot who got this. There's someone that's trying to keep something from you here in regards to a family situation. Who got this card? I don't remember. Was it Sag or Capricorn? One out of those two, I think, got that card. Let me get one more on this. And I said, like, someone was trying to keep them from their success, and the Queen of Wands and the Chariot came out. One more, please. On the 4 of Pentacles for Pisces. The Ace of Wands. 6 of Wands. You're gonna get, and 6 of Cups. Sorry, 6 of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. You're gonna get victory regardless. 10 of Pentacles. It could be some type of family situation. Some type of opportunity from a family. With Jupiter there in your 4th house there, from an extended family that someone is trying to keep from you. Did I say that you might have a formidable enemy? You might. Okay. But I see victory for you nonetheless. So I mean, Saturn is in your 1st house, so let me get one on that. Yeah, the King of Cups. This could be a passed over loved one that is looking after you. Okay, like a grandfather or something. All right, until next time, be blessed.